Hello, whisperers. Welcome to the channel. If you enjoy tonight's tale, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. It helps more than you know. Now, dim the lights, and let's begin tonight's story. I know how it sounds, okay? 50 grand to sit in a house for one night. Sounds like bait. Like the kind of thing you only click on when rent's overdue. Your car smells like burnt oil and shame, and your fridge hums louder than your phone rings, which is where I was. I found the ad on Craigslist at 3:12 a.m. while chewing on the last stale granola bar in my cupboard. It was wedged between job listings for weed trimmers and a post titled, "Need a guy with a strong stomach. No questions." The ad said, $50,000 for one night. Just stay in the house. Don't sleep. Don't leave. Don't look at the basement door after midnight. Serious inquiries only. No photos, just an address, a time, and a contact name. Jay. I emailed. I didn't expect a response. 5 minutes later, I got one. You've been accepted. Directions attached. Come alone. No phone. Camcorder will be provided. Payment upon completion. No contract. No signature. Just that. And GPS coordinates that led to nothing. Like actual blank space on Google Maps. I should have let it go. Should have laughed, deleted it, and gone to bed hungry again. But I didn't. The next day, I borrowed my neighbor's truck and followed the GPS. It was an hour out of town, then another 30 minutes down a road that barely qualified as a road anymore. Just dirt and dying leaves crunching under the tires. No signs, no fences, just trees that leaned too close, like they were whispering about me. The house appeared like it was waiting. Pale gray siding, 2 floors, no driveway, no mailbox, just there, like someone dropped it into the woods from orbit. I parked and stepped out, instantly regretting everything. It was too quiet. No wind, no birds, the kind of silence that presses on your eardrums. I stood there for a full minute, hand on the door handle, considering turning around. That's when he came out. The man was already standing on the porch, like he'd been watching me. I didn't hear a damn thing. He didn't smile, didn't blink, just held out an old camcorder and a single VHS tape in a plastic sleeve. White label, red Sharpie. It said, "Watch before midnight." I asked, "You Jay?" He didn't answer, just motioned me inside, turned, walked in, and shut the door behind me. I should have left right then, but 50 grand was 50 grand, and I was too tired to be smart. Inside, the air smelled like antiseptic and wood polish. Everything was spotless. Too spotless. The furniture looked unused. Plastic still on some of the lampshades. No personal touches. No pictures. Not even dust. Like a show home waiting for buyers. The first thing I noticed was the clock on the wall. It was stuck at 8 p.m. Even after an hour passed, it didn't move. Second thing I noticed, no cell service. Not even a flicker. No Wi-Fi either. The man was gone. I checked every room. Upstairs empty. Kitchen clean. Living room cold. The only off thing was the basement door, dead center in the hallway, halfway between the kitchen and the stairs. Plain white, brass knob, but it felt heavier than it should have, like something on the other side was leaning against it. I avoided it. Instinct, I guess. At 9 p.m. sharp, I started recording. I figured if I was gonna sit here all night, I might as well document it. Maybe I'd even make a dumb YouTube video out of it. I took the Craigslist job no one else would, or some clickbait like that. The camcorder worked fine. Old school, clunky, no memory card. Just internal tape, I guess. The viewfinder glitched now and then, like static lines crawling across the screen. But the time code stamped everything. 9 p.m. I introduced myself, gave a little spiel, tried to keep it light, said I was in a weird house for 50 grand, and that if someone found the tape and I was dead, they'd better upload it so my mom could go viral. I laughed, alone, too hard. 9:30 p.m. Ate the granola bar I packed. Still stale. 10 p.m. Started getting weird feedback from the camcorder. When I pointed it at mirrors, it glitched bad, like bad. One time, I swear my reflection wasn't moving the same way I was. 10:37 p.m. I heard knocking. 3 slow knocks coming from below. I froze. My first thought, someone's fucking with me. The man in the coat. Maybe hidden cameras. Maybe it was all a twisted reality show. So I called out. Hello? Nothing. I approached the basement door. It was still closed. Still looked like a normal door, but the doorknob was warm now, like someone had just touched it. I backed off. At 11 p.m., I recorded again. I wasn't pretending to be funny anymore. I kept hearing, shifting from under the floorboards, not just movement, like pacing, long, slow steps, back and forth, and sometimes scratching, like nails or claws or both. I wanted to leave. Honestly, I had the keys. I could have walked out, but every time I went near the front door, the hallway felt longer, like the walls were stretching, and the door looked further away. At one point, I tried to open it, and it just wasn't there. Like I blinked, and it was gone. Just more hallway. I sat on the couch, shaking, not cold, just something was off in my body, like my stomach was remembering something my brain couldn't. That's when I remembered the tape. At 11:45 p.m., I put the VHS into the old TV VCR combo in the living room. The screen flickered, lines crawled across, no title screen, just static. And then footage of me, standing in the hallway, camcorder in hand, looking at the basement door. But in the video, I open it and smile. Then it cuts to black. I hit eject. Tape was warm. The room was colder. I think I said something out loud. I don't remember what, just my throat hurt after, like I'd been screaming but hadn't heard myself. I sat there, waiting. Midnight. The house exhaled. That's the only way I can describe it. Like the walls breathed out, the lights dimmed, and the knocking stopped. And then I heard it, my voice, behind the basement door. It whispered, finally. I didn't sleep, not just because of the rule, don't sleep, but because I couldn't, like my body wouldn't let me. I sat there for what felt like hours, staring at the basement door, too scared to look away. But every time I blinked, it felt like something shifted, like I was missing time, like the house was skipping forward without me. I kept telling myself the VHS tape was fake, a trick, edited, maybe footage from another guy who took the job before me. But deep down, I knew better. That was me in the hallway, my jacket, my camcorder. That was my voice when it whispered, "Finally." It's hard to explain what it feels like when your brain starts turning on itself, when your own voice starts sounding foreign, too deep, or too flat, like someone doing an impression of you just a little too well. 1:12 a.m. I walked into the upstairs bathroom and caught my reflection smiling at me. I wasn't smiling. I backed out, slammed the door, locked it from the outside. Then I recorded again, this time on instinct. Just needed to talk, to prove I was still real. It's been a few hours now. The house keeps changing. I'm seeing new doors, hallways that weren't there. Mirrors are wrong. Something's wrong with me, too. I think I stopped the recording because I heard my voice overlapping with mine, like an echo, but in perfect sync. And it was coming from inside the camcorder speaker before I even pressed playback. I dropped it. The new hallway showed up around 2 a.m. At least I think it was new. It extended off the living room, past where the kitchen should have been. No lights, just a faint red glow at the end, like a dying exit sign. I don't know how I missed it before. It was too long, like it didn't fit in the house. I took a few steps down it, just to confirm I wasn't losing my mind. The carpet changed underfoot. Gray turned to maroon and then black. And the wallpaper, Jesus, it looked like skin, not real but patterned in this way that suggested skin, like it wanted me to make that connection. I didn't go further. There was something waiting at the end. I didn't see it, but I felt it. It was pacing, just like the thing in the basement. But this one walked backward. Don't ask how I know. I just do. I turned around, and the hallway was gone. 3:26 a.m. I found the journal. It was under the mattress in the upstairs bedroom. I didn't put it there. Handwritten, weathered, no name, just page after page of frantic scribbles, most of it unreadable, like whoever wrote it was breaking apart while they did. But the last entry was crystal clear. It said, "It's not about guarding the house. It's about guarding what's inside you. If you forget that, you'll open the door. And if you open the door, you won't be the one who walks away." The handwriting was mine, exactly mine. Same spacing, same little loop in the G. I checked against my notes in the glove box downstairs. Identical. That's when I knew. The job wasn't about the house or the door or even the thing behind it. It was about me. I started testing the house. I set markers, scratched X's into the wall with a key, marked time on the kitchen counter with my finger. Each time I looked away, even for a second, they vanished, or moved, or shifted sideways. I checked the tape footage to confirm, played it back on the camcorder. Here's the thing, though. I don't remember recording any of it, but there I was, scratching symbols, writing warnings on the walls in charcoal, whispering numbers into the camera. 12, 7, 12, 7. That wasn't me. That couldn't be me, because in that footage, I had no eyes, just black pits. I stopped using the camcorder. Around 4 a.m., I heard the basement door unlock. Click just once. One clean, metal click. I ran into the hallway and it was still shut, still closed, but the knob had changed. Now it was mirrored, like a small, warped reflection. I stared into it, and it stared back. I don't remember much after that. There's a blank space in my memory, 30 minutes, maybe more. When I came back, I was on the floor of the upstairs hallway. The camcorder was in my hand again, turned on, and I was watching footage of myself sleeping. I wasn't supposed to sleep. In the video, I lie there peacefully, breathing slow, and then my body sits up, but my head doesn't move, just stays limp, and the thing wearing me starts smiling. I tried to leave, really. I made it to the front door this time. The knob turned, the hinges groaned, and then the hallway stretched again. The air went thick, like syrup, and every light in the house blinked off for just 1 second. When they came back on, someone was standing at the top of the stairs. Same coat, same build as the guy from the porch, but no face, just static, crawling across his head like a broken channel. He didn't move, didn't speak, just stared. So I slammed the door shut, locked it, ran back to the couch, sat with the camcorder in my lap, shaking so hard the tape whined. I pressed record again. I think I'm unraveling, not just scared, not just paranoid. I mean, me, the idea of me. It's like something's trying to rewrite me from the inside out. I looked down. My hands weren't mine anymore. They had scars I didn't recognize, and one of them had a symbol scratched into the palm. Something sharp and looping, like a sideways 8 carved with a razor. I touched it. It burned. The knocking came back, soft this time, almost polite. It didn't come from the basement, though. It came from inside the mirror in the bedroom. And when I walked in, I saw myself standing behind the glass, eyes open, mouth closed, head tilted just slightly, like someone trying to guess if they recognize you from somewhere. Then the reflection smiled. But I didn't. And it whispered, "Don't forget who you're keeping in." I don't know how much longer I was conscious, not in any real way. Thoughts started looping, like a bad tape stuck in rewind. I'd catch myself halfway through actions I didn't remember starting, turning off lights, writing on the walls with black marker I don't own, rearranging furniture into shapes that only made sense when I didn't look directly at them. The hallway to the basement got shorter. That's how I knew things were getting worse. Every time I blinked, the door was closer, like it wanted to be near me, like it didn't want me to forget it was waiting. The house creaked with each breath I took, or maybe I was creaking, hard to tell. Sometime around 6 a.m., I found the second tape. It was inside the fridge. No joke. Just sitting there, like milk or eggs, labeled in the same red Sharpie as before. Exit. I almost laughed, like what the hell kind of game was this? But my hand was already moving, already taking the tape, already loading it into the VCR. I didn't decide to watch it. Something older did. The tape started with static, then footage of a child's bedroom, pastel walls, stuffed animals, a nightlight in the shape of a moon. Then the camera turned, slowly, too slowly. It faced the closet, the door opened, and something stepped out, crawling on hands and knees, pale skin that shimmered like plastic wrap. No face, just a mouth that split vertically from throat to forehead, filled with writhing red things that moved like tongues but sounded like screaming. Then it looked at the camera, and it said, "You promised to stay asleep." I blacked out. Or maybe I didn't. Maybe my mind just stopped accepting new input, like a firewall kicking in. When I came to, the basement door was open, and I was sitting at the top of the stairs. No memory of getting there. Camcorder on the floor beside me, blinking red, still recording. I should have run. Should have shut the door and nailed it shut and thrown the camcorder into the woods. But I couldn't, because something inside me was already standing at the bottom of the stairs, and I needed to know what it looked like. I descended one step at a time, slow, careful. Each stair felt like it had teeth, like it was biting me a little with every step. The basement was wrong, too wide, too tall, bigger than the house above it. The air shimmered like heat waves, and the walls weren't made of wood or stone or anything I recognized. They pulsed like lungs, like they remembered being alive and were pretending not to be. There were things on the floor, old toys, a child's blanket, a cracked mirror, my high school yearbook, everything I'd forgotten, everything I'd buried, and in the center, something standing. It was me, but taller, skin pale as chalk, eyes hollow, no irises, just movement inside the sockets, like footage trying to buffer. It opened its arms like it was going to hug me and said, "Welcome back." I ran, not up the stairs, just anywhere, but every direction led me deeper, further underground. The walls grew tighter, the ceiling dropped. At some point I was crawling, then belly crawling, then sliding on raw skin and teeth, and all the while it followed me. Not fast, not angry, just patient, like it had done this before. Eventually I came to a room, not a room, a space, circular, stone walls now, like a well. The only light came from above, an impossible slit in the ceiling pouring down moonlight. I stood in the center, chest heaving, and that's when I heard the clapping, slow, mocking. I turned. He was there, the man from the porch, same coat, same boots. But now I could see his face, because it was mine, or the version of me I left behind somewhere, the version I tried to forget, the one that made the promises, the one that opened the door the first time. "You made a deal," he said. "You broke it. You always break it." His voice was static and memory. His face flickered, sometimes angry, sometimes laughing, sometimes crying. "This place isn't a prison," he said. "It's a mirror, and it's your turn to hold the door closed." And then I understood. The job wasn't to guard the house. The house was me. The job was to sit still, stay awake, and keep the thing I buried from clawing its way back to the surface. But I blinked, I wandered, I watched the tapes, I forgot, and now it was loose. I woke up on the porch. Sunlight, birdsong, a suitcase beside me, filled with $50,000 in cash, neatly stacked, bandaged. The house was gone, like it had never been there at all. Just forest, dirt, and tire tracks that didn't lead anywhere. The camcorder was in my lap. Inside it, one tape, one label, for the next guard. I haven't spent the money. Can't. It smells like burnt plastic and old milk in my childhood bedroom. I moved towns, changed my name, but I still hear knocking when I try to sleep. And sometimes when I look in the mirror, I'm not the one blinking.